Playing the sensitive Dr. Kildare and the passionate priest in the Thorn Birds made Richard Chamberlain TV's leading man for a generation and a heartthrob for women worldwide. But the veteran actor now says he would never have got the parts if producers had found out he was gay. It was just one of recently been revealed that a huge part of Richard's image was carefully curated. So keep watching as we take a look into what lay beneath all the glamour and the hidden challenges Richard faced off-screen. In a recent interview, Richard Chamberlain has reflected on why he kept his sexuality a secret for so long. "I had to be very careful," Chamberlain shared, acknowledging the fear of losing significant roles if producers knew he was gay. After keeping a secret for so many years in Hollywood, Richard Chamberlain is finally at peace. He finally came out as gay in his 2003 memoir, Shattered Love, when he was nearly 70 years old. In his memoir, Richard Chamberlain has opened up about the challenges of keeping his sexuality a secret during the peak of his career. As a romantic leading man, revealing his truth would have been a disaster and awful for his career. "I had to be very careful and very circumspect," Chamberlain recalled. "Magazines did lots and lots of interviews, and they sort of suspected. They would ask me questions like, 'When are you going to get married and have children?' I would say, 'Well, not quite yet. I'm awfully busy.' I had to be careful for a long time. The constant vigilance was inhibiting," Chamberlain admitted. "But I got so used to it that it was just habitual to be sort of careful and on guard in certain situations. Yes, I would have been a happier person to be out and free and all that, but I already had so much to be happy about. I was a working actor, and that's the main thing I wanted out of this lifetime." The star admitted he wasn't prepared for the whirlwind of fame that came with his leading role on Dr. Kildare. The show, which chronicled the adventures of a young medical intern and his surgeon mentor, aired from 1961 to 1966. "It happened kind of fast," he recalled. "We started getting fan mail at an enormous rate, something like 12,000 letters a week, which the network had never really experienced before. Even Clark Gable wasn't getting that much fan mail. And the studio, of course, answered it all. I didn't have the time or energy, but that made me realize something significant was happening that might be overwhelming. And then, whenever we had any breaks in the shooting schedule, I was under contract at MGM at the time. The studio would send me out to do publicity or other work," Chamberlain continued. "Sometimes we encountered rather enthusiastic crowds of people. People lined up for miles just to get my autograph. I thought, this is wonderful. I'm very pleased they want this. But I didn't quite understand why they wanted it. It made me realize that Dr. Kildare had caused quite a stir." Reflecting on his decision to come out, Chamberlain said it felt liberating to finally share his truth in his memoir without fear of consequence. "While I was writing that book, I thought it was going to be a philosophical guide on how to live a better life," said Chamberlain. "My publisher told me, 'Richard, you've got to talk about the real you and where all these philosophical ideas came from.' As I was writing, it was almost as if an angel walked into the room. I didn't see an angel, of course, but it felt like this angelic presence came and put her hand on my head. This is all in my imagination, but it had a certain reality to it. I felt that presence say, 'Richard, you've been barking up the wrong tree here. There is nothing, absolutely nothing wrong with you and your life and being gay. It's totally irrelevant to your worth as a human being. Give up all this fear. Give up all this hiding. Just give it up.' I suddenly felt deep in my bones the truth of what this angel was saying to me," Chamberlain continued. "I'm not claiming an angel was really there, but I felt touched by an angel. And I suddenly agreed deep into my heart and bones that being who I am was just fine. Yes, there was a sense of freedom. I knew everyone would want to talk about me being gay in Hollywood, and I was completely free to talk about it with Barbara Walters, Larry King, all these people. I was completely unafraid to talk about it." Chamberlain reflected fondly on his time as an actor in Hollywood, despite the challenges he faced. He recalled the thrill of fan mail, the excitement of premieres, and the camaraderie on set. Now, as he steps into a quieter phase of life, he is ready to share some of his cherished memories and memorabilia with his fans. The upcoming auction, Property from the Life and Career of Richard Chamberlain, features a treasure trove of items that span his illustrious career. Fans can look forward to bidding on a variety of unique pieces, including costumes, rare memorabilia from his classic films and TV shows, as well as jewelry and a collection of his artwork. Some of the key items up for auction include his 1963 Golden Globe Award for Dr. Kildare, estimated to fetch between $3,000 and $5,000, and the original costume from the 1980 miniseries Shogun, valued at $1,000 to $2,000. Another highlight is his Hollywood Walk of Fame plaque, also expected to garner between $1,000 and $2,000. There are also X-rays from 1983's The Thorn Birds. Chamberlain recounted an incident on set where he forgot his lines, leading to a moment of frustration where he hit his hand on a camera dolly and ended up breaking it. Despite the mishap, Chamberlain has no regrets about being part of the steamy romance drama. "It was supposed to be a movie with Robert Redford, but that never materialized," he chuckled. "After Shogun became a huge success, they were open to considering me for the part of Father Ralph. It turned out to be a stroke of amazing good fortune. Rachel Ward and I got along extremely well. There were rumors that we didn't, but that was just the press at the time. They wanted something to write about, but we got on famously. We had a lot of love scenes, and she was very loving and sweet in those scenes. I thought, oh gosh, maybe I'm turning her on. But it turned out that she was beginning a romance secretly with co-star Brian Brown, who was playing her husband in the piece. And they were falling in love. So, I pretended she was falling in love with me, which made the love scenes even more fun to play." Ward and Brown tied the knot in 1983 and have stayed in touch with Chamberlain over the years. Reflecting on the enduring popularity of the Thorn Birds, Chamberlain remarked, "It's amazing that the Thorn Birds was so successful because it's just one tragedy after another. If you think about it, all kinds of terrible things happened to people in that story. But on the other hand, there was that very intense love affair played out by all these wonderful actors." Richard Chamberlain also played the original Jason Bourne in the 1988 miniseries The Bourne Identity, starring opposite Jaclyn Smith of Charlie's Angels fame. This role predated the action-packed film series featuring Matt Damon as the iconic character. Reflecting on this role, Chamberlain shared some fond memories and thoughts on the subsequent adaptations. "We got there first," Chamberlain laughed. "Jaclyn Smith was beyond gorgeous and wonderful in it. It was based on an extremely complicated novel, but we had enough time, the 4 hours, to tell the whole story. But when Matt Damon made the first Bourne movie, they only had about an hour and a half. I was very disappointed that so much of the story was not able to be told. But then in the follow-up films, I thought he was just terrific. But I thought the first one, Ours, was better." Looking back at his illustrious career, Chamberlain can't help but beam with pride. "Dr. Kildare was the answer to all my prayers, all I ever wanted to be as an actor," he said, "and it just dropped onto my lap. The show was an amazing success right from the beginning. It was very hard work, but also incredibly gratifying. It was just a wonderful life." With his handsome looks and undeniable talent, he quickly became a worldwide heartthrob. But it was during the golden age of the miniseries in the 1980s that Chamberlain truly ascended to TV royalty, earning Emmy nominations and Golden Globe Awards for 2 epic historical sagas and earning the title King of the Miniseries. In 1980's Shogun, Chamberlain portrayed the English navigator John Blackthorne, shipwrecked in 17th century Japan. 3 years later, in The Thorn Birds, he starred as the passionate Catholic priest Ralph de Bricassart, torn between his love for Rachel Ward's Meggie Cleary and his ecclesiastical vows. Remarkably, 3 of the miniseries' 4 installments remain among the top 10 most-watched TV episodes of all time. As he approaches his 90th birthday, the now-retired Chamberlain reflected on his celebrated career. When asked what he was most proud of, Chamberlain hesitated, then said, "Maybe the Thorn Birds. It had a kind of international effect on the world that was amazing. And working with Barbara Stanwyck, of course, was just brilliant, and Rachel Ward and all those fabulous people, but it's an awfully hard choice." His determination to play Father Ralph was driven by the character's complexity. His destiny in this lifetime was an almost cruel one, Chamberlain explained. He really loved God. I think he had a sincere calling, and he really loved Meggie, and he loved the glamour of the church. He was spiritually torn, which made him very interesting to play. Working with the legendary Barbara Stanwyck, who won an Emmy for her role, was a highlight of his career. Chamberlain recalled a poignant scene where Stanwyck's character bears her soul about love and aging. "She was beyond belief," he said. Another unforgettable moment came when Stanwyck forgot her lines during an intimate scene. The set was absolutely silent. Nobody could believe that she had forgotten her lines. Then she said, "It's been so long since I've stood next to a naked man." Laughs. "I was so thrilled that I actually turned on Barbara Stanwyck." Richard Chamberlain remembered his time filming Shogun with a mix of fondness and awe. The physical and emotional demands of the role were immense. "It was very hard, but quite exciting to work with all those wonderful Japanese actors," he said. Weekends provided a respite from the grueling schedule, and he took the opportunity to explore Japan with his interpreter. These adventures became cherished memories, a beautiful escape within an already incredible journey. Richard Chamberlain had to fight to get the role of Blackthorn in Shogun. Despite being viewed as a heartthrob, he was determined to prove his acting prowess. "There are better actors in town, but somehow Richard maintains the audience," said a wise Hollywood insider. This validation meant a lot to Chamberlain, reinforcing that his connection with viewers went beyond his looks. Chamberlain couldn't hide his excitement about the upcoming remake of Shogun. "I can't wait to see it," he said eagerly. The original experience was one of the great highlights of his life, and he was curious to see how the new version would reinterpret it. When reflecting on his big breakthrough as Dr. Kildare, Chamberlain's eyes lit up. The title role in the 1961 series co-starring Raymond Massey was a dream come true. "Dr. Kildare was the answer to all my dreams," he said. The show's success was mesmerizing and marked the beginning of his journey as a beloved TV star. During the 5-season run of Dr. Kildare, Chamberlain graced the cover of TV Guide magazine 6 times. "TV Guide was great to me," he recalled. Although the interviews were somewhat fabricated, they always painted a flattering picture, contributing to his growing fame. One of the most vivid memories from the Thorn Birds was when Chamberlain, frustrated by forgetting his lines, broke his hand after hitting it on a camera dolly. Despite the challenges, he had no regrets about being part of the iconic romance drama. "It was going to be a movie with Robert Redford, and none of that happened," he chuckled. "After Shogun became a huge success, they were open to considering me for the part of Father Ralph. It turned out to be a stroke of amazing good fortune." Chamberlain and his co-star Rachel Ward shared an easy rapport on set. Rumors of tension between them were unfounded. In fact, they got along famously. During their many love scenes, Ward's warmth and affection made the experience enjoyable. Little did Chamberlain know that Ward was secretly beginning a romance with Brian Brown, who played her husband in the series. "I pretended she was falling in love with me, which made the love scenes even more fun to play," he said with a smile. Ward and Brown married in 1983 and remained in touch with Chamberlain over the years. Reflecting on the success of The Thorn Birds, Chamberlain noted its unique appeal. "It's amazing that The Thorn Birds was so successful because it's just one tragedy after another," he said. Despite the series' somber themes, the intense love affair and strong performances captivated audiences worldwide. Richard Chamberlain's journey to fame was not just marked by his notable roles, but also by the personal challenges he faced in a time when being openly gay in Hollywood was virtually impossible. In the early days of his career, interviews often pried into Richard's personal life, a daunting challenge for someone who had to keep his sexuality a secret. "I had to do some clever footwork," Richard recalled with a knowing smile. To maintain the facade, he often attended events with close female friends, creating a public image that aligned with the expectations of the time. When Richard signed a 7-year contract with MGM, it was a moment of triumph, albeit one with a touch of missed opportunity. "I remember meeting with my agent about what we should ask for, and he said, 'Oh, there couldn't possibly be any merchandising, so let's not bother with that.'" Richard laughed, reflecting on the irony. "It turned out the merchandising was huge, stethoscopes and pillow covers with my face on them, so I missed out on a small fortune." Despite this, he was content. "I was making a reasonable salary, and it felt good. I could pay my rent, buy some food, and a little car." Richard's first purchase was a little gray foreign convertible, a modest but cherished car. As his success grew, so did his taste in vehicles. He eventually upgraded to a Stingray, a sleek and powerful car that, unfortunately, led to numerous speeding tickets. His penchant for speed caught up with him in court. The judge said, "Well, Chamberlain, obviously a fine isn't going to slow you down. You are hereby banned from the freeways for 6 months." It was a major inconvenience, Richard admitted with a chuckle. Later in his career, Richard embraced roles that resonated more deeply with his personal truth. One such role was playing Ron Rifkin's boyfriend on ABC's Brothers and Sisters. "He is an absolute genius," Richard said of Rifkin. "Every take, sometimes we'd do 3 or 4, I'd be struggling to do the same thing over again, while he'd just be doing something new and different. I loved working with him." Retirement has been a joyous chapter for Richard. "I have wonderful friends and wonderful travels," he said, his eyes twinkling with contentment. "I live mostly in Hawaii now with very dear friends, and I'm a very happy guy, knock on wood." The serene beauty of Hawaii has provided a perfect backdrop for his peaceful and fulfilling life post-Hollywood. When asked about his legacy, Richard's response was characteristically humble. "Someone once asked me that, and I said, that's really none of my business. If people want to remember some of the things I've done, that would be nice. But the big stuff was some time ago. I'd just like to be remembered as a reasonably nice guy with a sense of humor." Richard Chamberlain's career wasn't just about the roles he played. It was also marked by memorable off-screen moments, including a lesser-known and rather awkward incident with actress Jane Seymour. Seymour, who longed to be a part of the iconic miniseries The Thorn Birds, found herself in an unforgettable predicament during her audition. "I always wanted to do The Thorn Birds," Seymour shared with Fox News. "I'd just had a baby and they said, 'No, you're definitely going to get to do this.'" Excited, Seymour met with Chamberlain for a screen test that initially went brilliantly. They even had lunch together, discussing the potential of working alongside each other. However, the mood shifted dramatically during a love scene that followed. "I'd stopped breastfeeding, but my milk came in all over his chest," Seymour revealed, a hint of embarrassment still lingering in her voice. The unexpected and awkward moment led to Seymour losing the role. Chamberlain eventually starred in the series opposite Rachel Ward, another talented British actress. The Thorn Birds, which aired in 1983, became a monumental success, telling the intense tale of a Catholic priest, Chamberlain, torn between his ecclesiastical vows and his forbidden love for the granddaughter, Ward, of a vast sheep station owner. The series also featured notable actors like Christopher Plummer and Barbara Stanwyck. Reflecting on the incident, Seymour admitted, "I will tell you that was very disappointing and devastating. And to this day, I've never seen the movie." The memory of that moment was so impactful that it deterred her from watching the series altogether. "That was like, oh no, how could that happen?" she recounted. "At this point in my life, I can see the humor in it, but I ended up doing 2 other movies, 2 other miniseries that ended up being even better for me. So, I don't think of the dark side of things anymore, really." People know Richard Chamberlain as a successful career, but is his life always easy for him? Richard's journey to stardom began against the backdrop of a modest upbringing in Los Angeles. Born George Richard Chamberlain in the spring of 1934, he entered the world as the youngest member of his family, with an older brother, Bill, guiding his early years. Despite being raised by parents whose lives were far from the glitz of show business, young Richard's surroundings were deeply influenced by the allure of Hollywood. In 1936, when Richard was merely 2, his family moved to a small mansion in Beverly Hills, a stone's throw away from the epicenter of the entertainment industry. Growing up amidst the enchantment of Tinseltown, Richard found himself drawn to the arts from a tender age. Initially inclined towards painting, he pursued his artistic aspirations even as he embarked on his academic journey. Following his high school graduation, Richard enrolled in a college in Claremont, near Beverly Hills, where he initially delved into the realm of visual arts. However, the allure of the stage proved irresistible when he discovered the school's drama club. Captivated by the magic of theater, Richard's passion for acting began to bloom. In 1956, armed with his college degree, Richard was on the cusp of realizing his dreams of treading the boards. However, fate had other plans as he was called to serve his country in the Army. Stationed in Korea, Richard spent 2 pivotal years in military service, putting his acting aspirations temporarily on hold. Upon his return to Beverly Hills as a sergeant, Richard wasted no time in reigniting his passion for acting. Despite the detour imposed by his military service, his resolve to pursue a career in entertainment burned brighter than ever. With the stage beckoning and Hollywood's lights casting their spell, Richard Chamberlain set forth on a path destined to lead him to the heights of stardom. In his quest for acting opportunities, Richard Chamberlain embarked on a journey through the bustling agencies and studios of Los Angeles. However, he soon realized that raw talent and passion alone were insufficient to navigate the competitive landscape of show business. Determined to hone his craft, Richard sought out private acting lessons, eagerly absorbing the fundamental principles like a sponge eager for knowledge. It wasn't long before Chamberlain's dedication began to bear fruit. At the age of 25, he received his first taste of on-screen experience with roles in a couple of episodes of television classics like Gunsmoke and Alfred Hitchcock Presents. Though these projects did not catapult him to stardom, they provided invaluable learning opportunities, allowing Richard to acclimate to the demands of acting in front of the camera. However, it was in 1961 that Chamberlain's meteoric rise to fame truly began. MGM Studios bestowed upon the relatively unknown actor the opportunity of a lifetime, the chance to portray the titular character in the groundbreaking medical drama series Dr. Kildare. Following a successful audition, Chamberlain found himself thrust into the spotlight, with the production team confident that their project would captivate audiences worldwide. Over the next 5 years, Richard dedicated himself wholeheartedly to bringing Dr. Kildare to life on the small screen, immersing himself in the character's trials and triumphs. The culmination of Chamberlain's efforts came in 1963 when he was honored with a prestigious Golden Globe Award for his portrayal of Dr. Kildare. Almost overnight, he became a household name, revered by fans around the globe. Amidst his film endeavors, Richard Chamberlain found himself drawn back to his youthful passion for music. Enlisting the guidance of vocal coaches, the multifaceted actor embarked on a musical journey that would see him release 5 albums. One particular composition from his repertoire, aptly titled Dr. Kildare, struck a chord with audiences, soaring to the upper echelons of the Billboard Hot 100 charts and solidifying Chamberlain's status as a versatile entertainer. However, The allure of the theater stage beckoned to Chamberlain, and in 1968, he made a triumphant return to his dramatic roots. Cast in the iconic role of Hamlet, the American actor graced the British stage, breathing new life into a Shakespearean classic that had not seen the limelight for 4 decades. His performance garnered widespread acclaim on both sides of the Atlantic, reigniting the public's fervor for live theater and cementing Chamberlain's reputation as a consummate stage actor. Yet, it was at the age of 45 that Richard Chamberlain would deliver one of his most memorable performances to date. Portraying the pivotal role of Pilot Major John Blackthorne in the epic miniseries Shogun, directed by Jerry London, Chamberlain captivated audiences with his portrayal of the enigmatic character navigating the treacherous waters of feudal Japan. His stellar performance earned him the prestigious Golden Globe Award, propelling him to new heights of fame and acclaim. Shogun became a cultural phenomenon. As Richard Chamberlain's career soared, he delved into a diverse array of roles that showcased his remarkable versatility as an actor. From embodying iconic literary figures such as Aramis and Dante in adaptations of Alexandre Dumas' novels to portraying historical luminaries like Anton Chekhov, Lord Byron, and Giacomo Casanova, Chamberlain captivated audiences with his captivating performances. However, it was his portrayal of Father Ralph de Bricassart in the 1983 miniseries adaptation of Colleen McCullough's bestseller that catapulted Chamberlain to unprecedented levels of fame and acclaim. The series garnered widespread acclaim, earning Chamberlain both critical acclaim and a Golden Globe Award, solidifying his status as a household name. Such was his newfound prominence that Chamberlain found himself unable to venture outdoors without being hounded by adoring fans, necessitating the shielding of his identity behind dark sunglasses. Yet, Chamberlain's talents transcended the small screen, as evidenced by his forays into feature films that shattered the notion of him being solely a television actor. From the tense thriller Roger Young to his portrayal of the enigmatic Jason Bourne in The Bourne Identity and his poignant performance in the drama Dream West, Chamberlain proved his mettle on the silver screen. European audiences in particular fondly remembered Chamberlain for his roles in adventure films like King Solomon's Mines and Alan Quatermain and The Lost City of Gold, where he shared the screen with the likes of Sharon Stone. In 2011, Chamberlain staged a triumphant return to the spotlight, captivating audiences once again with his appearances in films such as The Perfect Family and the enduring family drama Brothers and Sisters. Richard Chamberlain now calls the tranquil shores of Oahu, Hawaii, his permanent home, finding solace and peace in this serene environment just a short 30-minute drive from downtown Waikiki. Previously, Chamberlain resided in a mountain-perched home, offering breathtaking views 2,000 feet above Honolulu, where he could bask in the splendor of panoramic vistas stretching from the iconic Waikiki Beach to the majestic Diamond Head. Originally, the property he acquired boasted a modest 1-story, 5-bedroom home constructed in 1955. However, Chamberlain embarked on an extensive renovation project, investing significantly to transform it into a stunning 2-story compound. This overhaul elevated the property's value to an estimated $8.5 million, reflecting Chamberlain's commitment to creating a luxurious and comfortable haven amidst Hawaii's natural beauty. Today, Chamberlain finds joy in the simple pleasures of life, surrounded by the wonders of nature in his Hawaiian abode. His residence features an outdoor pool adorned with a cascading waterfall that spills into a half-moon-shaped jet spa, offering a tranquil retreat for relaxation and rejuvenation. Additionally, the compound includes a quaint 2-bedroom guest house nestled amidst lush jungle vegetation, further enhancing the property's charm and appeal as a haven of tranquility and comfort. Now, at 90, Chamberlain is at peace and embracing a simpler, more relaxed life. He is auctioning off some of his prized Hollywood memorabilia with the help of Julian's Auctions and Turner Classic Movies. The sale, titled Property from the Life and Career of Richard Chamberlain, is part of Julian's Auctions and Turner Classic Movies Icons and Idols Hollywood series, which kicks off this weekend in Beverly Hills and online. "Life is really nice," Chamberlain told Fox News Digital. "I'm sort of retired and can live a much simpler life than when I was working. Acting is gratifying as it is extremely hard work. I can now sit around and watch TV if I want to, go to the movies, have dinner with friends, and just have fun. It's very gratifying." However, at 89, Chamberlain is grappling with declining health, sparking concern among his loyal fan base. The distressing ordeal unfolded several months back after Chamberlain returned home from a joyous birthday celebration. It was then that Martin Rabbit, Chamberlain's former partner, made a harrowing discovery, finding him unconscious on the bathroom floor. An immediate dash to the emergency room at the esteemed University of Colorado Hospital followed. The diagnosis was grim. Chamberlain had suffered a heart attack, leading to a catastrophic fall and a perilous brain hematoma. Despite the tireless efforts of medical professionals, Chamberlain's condition remained critical, prompting discussions about potential surgical options. Martin Rabbit, understandably shaken by the incident, expressed his profound fear of potentially losing someone so dear to him. Yet, amidst the distress, Rabbit clung to a glimmer of hope, holding on to the possibility of Chamberlain making a miraculous recovery. The distressing news united Chamberlain's supporters and well-wishers worldwide, who flooded him with prayers, thoughts, and messages of unwavering support during his arduous journey towards recovery. As Richard Chamberlain faces this challenging chapter in his life, the support and love from fans worldwide serve as a source of strength and encouragement. Let us continue to rally around him, sending positive thoughts and well wishes for his recovery. In the meantime, we invite you to share your favorite memories or roles of Richard Chamberlain in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates on his journey and other compelling content about this legendary actor.